Hello and welcome to your fascia ball release for the upper body. For this practice, it's best to have some sort of fascia ball. So it could be a rubber ball or one of the plastic lacrosse balls even. Although I will say you can still do the sequence without any props. So you're welcome to pause the video, grab what you need, or just go along and make the same motions as me, and you're gonna get the similar stretch through the at least outer layers of fascia, okay? So once you're ready, I'll meet you on your mat, and if you're using a ball, you can go ahead and grab it. We're just gonna start by squeezing the ball back and forth. As you do this, I invite you to arrive into this new location where we will be anchored for the next little while. Maybe you can even feel your sitting bones as if they've dropped two anchors in place. And that weight descends down the lower body through the outer edges of the ankles and feet. I'm going to take that ball again now into both hands and just start to squeeze, releasing through the wrists. So I've interlaced the fingers and we're squeezing through the ball here. And the next part, and a lot of this practice today actually, will be a bit exploratory. And each time you repeat this video, you might do something slightly different. That's kind of the goal. I want you to individualize this. So next, maybe you're gonna make some circles, feels kind of nice. Pressure feels really nice. And at some point, you will take this down and add more pressure to the palms, okay? Whenever you feel guided to, and we'll just start at one palm. A lot of today's practice, since it's for the upper body, we'll actually be using the hands to support us for sections of this, holding the ball, pushing it into certain muscles to provide that acupressure and release. So I like to warm up the hands. It's also an act of self-care, doing this type of stretching practice and release practice. And that care comes from the center of each hand. So let's just release anything you might have been holding on to this week. The next one, I like to interlace the fingers and go back and forth. And since it's upper body, the hands are part of this, as are the wrists. So we're going to slowly just transition onto our knees and take the ball to the right wrist. I've placed my left hand on top and I'm just kind of rocking a little side to side. Now, of course, you can do this from whichever position you feel comfortable in. And sometimes in my home practice, I even combine this upper body sequence with a yin sequence for the lower body. Maybe I'll make another video for you on that. But we'll start nice and simple today with this focused release. And now we're moving into the forearm fascia smearing. Please press deeply into that forearm. Smear the ball slowly up the center of the arm, okay? And then all the way back down. And you might start to notice your breath for the first time in this practice. It's a different type of work. Start to explore that forearm. You can almost imagine those dense layers of fascia kind of spreading out. For those of us that work on computers or use our hands a lot with any sort of heavier energy expenditure job, you will feel this a lot. It's super juicy. We're going to switch to the second side when you feel ready, starting at the wrist. And then adding that acupressure. I'm kind of smearing down and forward, keeping my spine long and the head retracted. And you can see each side looks a little bit different. This time it feels kind of nice to stretch into a child's pose. So if you want to get that ball extended so far that your arm is straight, maybe release the head slightly. Moving up the arms, we lower the forearms, take the legs back, and move on to the tummy for Sphinx pose. Squeeze the legs together, tops of the feet down, and press the pubic bone down to the mat. Next, take the elbows underneath the shoulders. Forearms are running parallel here, palms down to begin. Take the ball. We'll start with the tricep, so placing the ball to the inner right arm, and just let yourself kind of lower down onto it. Maybe you make a pillow for your head with your hand, or you could grab a prop at home. And again, we're just kind of smearing back and forth here. You might observe when you arrive at a place where it's kind of sticky or it feels like a ball of tension. That's essentially a knot in the muscle and that surrounding fascia. So you can kind of work that out if it feels like some work that you want to do today. Or you could just treat this class as a gentle kind of release, maybe playing with bending at the elbow. And then when you're ready, it's the right, kind of getting to the right tricep from a different angle. So this is a bicep tricep release right now. We're gonna just move to the middle of the arm and cross that right arm under. And this time I just like to lean into it. Again, my spine is long and can retract the head. And we'll get into the deltoid in a bit, so don't go there quite yet. This one I really am just holding. I found a very tight spot. You might be moving a little bit more. And then we move into the pec. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, place the ball to the right chest, where the arm attaches to the chest. Anchor the right hand, squeeze the legs together, and then a little twist away from the ball. 2 more like that. Maybe find a new spot. Take a deep breath. Exhale to twist.
Yes.
And 1 more like that. Find your 3rd spot. Ooh, take a deep breath. Exhale, twist away. Arrive through Sphinx pose. Peel your chest through. Drop your shoulders down. And maybe notice a difference already from one side to the next. When you're ready, start on that inner right arm. So depending on your placement, you might be getting more bicep, more tricep. We just want somewhere in here. I like to bend that elbow into a right angle, especially because my yoga space here is a little limited. And we're just kind of moving around. If you liked the twist, you can return to it. Or you could be laying down. And then slowly release to that outer upper arm and just hold. Remember, this one's more in the tricep. We're not quite up at the deltoid yet, so another breath here. And then transitioning to your pec, come to the front of the chest. This is the one where you're twisting away from the stretch. Wow. And release. And again, 2 more. Sometimes I shift the point. Sometimes if it's very deep work, I stay on the same point. Release. Even a micro shift to the edge of that same point can feel really good. And release. Upper outer arm again. Coming right to that shoulder cap. Back through Sphinx pose. Ground through the arms. Pull the chest through. Drop the shoulders down and back. And a cat-cow, round the spine, gaze in. And then drop the belly, pull the chest through, retract the head, gaze up. Push down through your hands now. We'll shift to one hip and support yourself up. So we just did the wrists, the hands, all up the arms, the outer arms and the chest. So we'll take this ball to the chest again and just a little release in a circle. And we'll step into the neck. So this is a dual movement. So we'll be pressing into the pec here. I've got the right hand crossed over to the left and just moving in circles here. And then once you find a nice spot, I want you to press in and pull down slightly. And then take your gaze away from the ball. So we move into the sternocleidomastoid, the SCM. This stretch will really release that side of your neck. So we're extending the neck. And then you can even gaze up and down, a little nod of the chin. Arrive through center, both hands to lap, take a clearing breath. Now take the ball to the left hand and cross over to the right shoulder, starting to massage the front of the chest here. Making circles, noticing any tense places. Once you find a really nice spot, you're pressing in and pulling down slightly, and then take your gaze away from that point. And gaze a little up and down, this nodding of the chin. Slowly release through center, take a clearing breath. Place the ball just down between your legs there. We'll sweep that right arm up. Wrap it behind your head and slowly tuck your chin as you gaze down towards the right armpit. Now this opposite shoulder drops down and the fingertips drop away, okay? We got this really nice stretch now more to the back of the neck and your levator scapula, or scapulae. We'll take a little breath there. And then deepen the breath. Maybe reaching the fingers further towards the mat or lifting that head up and taking the chin down. These guide wires that hold the head up all day. Slowly lengthen the top of the head. Arrive through center, hands to lap. Clearing breath. Sweep the left arm up, wrap it behind your head. So the palm is kind of really nice holding, nicely holding the head. And then we'll take the gaze down. Start there. And if you'd still like more, these opposite fingers can just actually pull down towards the mat as well without touching. So I find it's much more effective to just have that like lengthening stretch. As soon as we touch, I personally lose it, but you can play with both. Lengthen through the top of the head, hands to thighs, clear it out. Closing sequence, take that ball and we'll place it right behind the heart. So for this sequence, we don't want to ever press the ball right up against the bone. That just will not feel good. So you're going to be on either side of your spine. And some of you might have a ball at home that has two kind of balls to it. It's like they're attached. Or sometimes I even put two of these in a sock and tie a knot on the end so that you're just avoiding that pressure to the spine. But for today, we'll just teach with the one on one side and then I'll cue you to side two, okay? So hop on down, shift to the left, place the ball to the right and lean into it. So I have positioned it, as I mentioned, kind of to the back of the heart or under the shoulder blade, right at the seam, that interior seam of the shoulder blade. And we'll just slowly push your weight down. You'll notice I'm pretty arched in my spine. I'm going to try my best to deepen my stretch. And this actually could even mean some little bridge poses. Arms by your side, inhale, slowly lift the hips, keeping the shoulders pressing down into that support, and then exhale, releasing it down. If you like that, you can do 2 more. And now we're just exploring this right side, and this will be much more personal for you. So if you know that you always have tension in the upper back, you can take the ball to that, oh my gosh, it's very tense there, to that upper region just below the neck and the traps, kind of into the rhomboids. And what we're doing here is we could take a right angle with the arm and just massage that specific spot of the rhomboids through the movement of the outer body. So just notice if you move that extremity on the right side, what happens to the sensations deepest to the midline. And for me, it's quite a profound reaction. I'm receiving a lot of information here about how my shoulders are doing today. If you're more in the lower body, you could slowly start to bring that ball down the mid back. Maybe you're still working through those little bridges, or down to the low back. And I like giving this freedom because I hope that you return to this video again. And each time that you do it, maybe you focus on something a little different in your body based on what you need. That's why we show up on the yoga mat. The last place you could explore would be that upper rim of the pelvis. But it is an upper body class today, so we can save that for another video. We'll move over to the left side in just one big breath as a group. Inhale. And let it go. Okay, so take that ball from the right side. Enjoy a clearing breath. Maybe notice the difference. And then place the ball to the left side. And again, I'm starting right at that interior edge of the scapula and then slowly lowering down. And we'll lift the hips into that little bridge and release out of it. So slowly lifting and lowering at the pelvis to whichever level you feel is serving you. Or maybe you're interested more in wrapping your arms in a hug, wiggling side to side. If you are moving the ball up, this is where you could take that left arm into that L pose. And you can pull the arm down or up, or just move in circles, enjoying the result of that movement in a varying stretch. And you might find a spot that really needs the release. You can hang there. Throughout your work, just return to the breath. Oh. When you get somewhere tight, you may hold it. See if you can keep your breath moving. And that will support the movement in the body as well. That ball can slowly roll down. Maybe getting to the mid back. Or again, some of you may be drawn to the low back just for a heartbeat or two. Finishing up on this side with a nice, deep, clearing breath. Please take the ball into your hands. Draw your knees towards the chest. Give a rock side to side. And slowly support yourself up. Great work. Thank you for taking the time to move and breathe. I'll see you on your mat next time.